The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa. So pour yourself a drink, settle in, and get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
From the top of Keenan, kill the roar so loud. Black and gold waving, we're a fearless crowd. Under them lights, the fight burns bright. Greatest team assembled, ready for the fight. We stand tall, we stand true. Every game, every play, got the Hawkeye view. Legends rise, and we all knew that the black and gold's coming straight for you. From the Hawkeye view, seen the whole state rise. With a heart so strong and fire in our eyes. On the field, on the court, in the stands, we shine. The best in the game, and the state is mine. Cover Hawkeyes, marking, watch them break that glass. Dropping dimes, hitting threes, never second guess. Full court hustle, hear the sneaker slide. With the fight in our veins, we wear that pride. We stand tall, we stand true. Every game, every play, got the Hawkeye view. Legends rise, and we all knew that the black and gold's coming.
All right. Good evening, Drew. How are we feeling tonight? How's football coaching going? What's the team looking like? And maybe we can spend the next hour or so just breaking down game film.
Breaking down the Indian Woods Middle School Wolves 48-6 win last night at South High School. Yeah.
Pull up the tape. Let's see it. No,
I can log into Huddle and show you.
Nice. No, glad things are going well. Glad you guys got the win.
Yes, 2-0. 2-0. We go into our bye week. We get 2 weeks off.
Oh, nice.
Now, we don't have 2 weeks off of practice. We have 2 weeks off for a game, so we'll still be. We started our extended weekend tonight, but I have drill this weekend too. So no, I don't have any time off really. So that's pretty cool.
Well, at least the bye week's coming at a good time for that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So happy that's working out for you. How are we feeling otherwise, Drew? How are we doing?
Is it basketball season yet?
Oh boy, are we there through 2 games? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite there yet, Drew. As you know, I tend to look more on the positive side of things. Not a lot of positives to take away from the CyHawk game. I will give you that. The only thing that gives me any sort of air of positivity is, and this is going to sound very ironic and very oxymoronic, is Kirk Ferentz's press conference this week, where he was, I think, as negative as you will hear him publicly about certain position groups, about certain players, very critical of the wide receivers. And as a result, I think we're going to maybe see some changes. I don't really know what changes we can make, but essentially he said, they're running short of the sticks, and that's not how we coach it in practice. And I don't know why that's happening. And with where we were at in fall camp, we should be a lot further along than where we are now. He's clearly pissed and frustrated with the offense and putting them on blast in the media, which is something that, I don't know, we don't always hear that. We haven't heard that when the offensive performances have been poor. He hasn't really. He's defended his guys. He hasn't put them on any sort of blast. So there was kind of this attitude too of like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this crap, kind of with some of the things he was saying. So, whether that really inspires the team or changes things, I don't know, Drew, but at least he's acknowledging the problems, not just stubborn Kirk Ferentz doing the same old things. We'll see. We'll see about that. I guess that's about the only encouragement that I'm taking.
I came into week 2 last week on this podcast as the glass half full kind of guy, and my glass is fucking empty. The positivity I seen from the football game, the defense played well enough to win.
For sure.
Which, I mean, they do 9 times out of 10. I think we have a talent evaluation problem at the quarterback position. I think we've had that problem for 6-7 years. And if it's not a talent evaluation problem, then it's clearly a system problem. At the end of the day, I know coming into this season, you thought Tim Lester had full reins, full control of the offense. I beg to differ at this point. I think the head coach probably needs to hold some fucking accountability instead of maybe necessarily his players that he also recruited at the wide receiver position, in which somebody told me on this podcast was a deep room. It was a deep room of wide receivers this year. You did put yourself on mute. Very, very, very deep room for wide receivers this year.
So I mean, the wide receivers are not fine, but what I will say here is, yes, I think a lot of the blame does fall on them, but I will say Reese Vanderzee being out is definitely a thing. I don't think it would change things in such a monumental way that we would be saying, oh, we're an elite passing offense. But I do think that Reese Vanderzee would have helped this team and maybe the outcome of this game. So I think he was wide receiver 1, and Mark Gronowski confirmed as much in his press conference this week. So in his media availability this week, he pretty much said he had the best trust, timing with Reese Vanderzee. So that's part of the issue here too, Drew. And I think what we're seeing rear its head is Gronowski missing spring ball matters. Spring ball would have been a great
I feel like I said this on this podcast as well. Should we have any concerns of a second consecutive transfer portal quarterback going in? Oh, the day they announced it. Oh, by the way, he's having surgery, so he's not going to be here for spring ball. And I said, is that a problem? And not just you, but a lot of people, the national pundits, the people that actually like have medical background information on him or just the injury itself, was like, he should be fine coming into fall camp. There should be no issue. But like, I'm not seeing zip on the ball. I'm not seeing confidence in a pocket. He does not look comfortable still. Like, he did play better, sure. In Ames, first road game, high nerve situation. Again, this guy's he's won 50 ball games. He's won 2 national championships. But it turns out, Andrew, that there's a difference between FCS football and Power 4 football. A larger step than most people want to admit.
Yeah, that's true. But what I was kind of going for with the spring ball angle was not so much the injury, the timing. He's talked about the timing and the trust. I mean, you have to trust your wide receivers And right now, I don't feel like he has that trust in any of his wide receivers with the timing specifically. That's a tough position to be in as a quarterback where you don't have that trust and timing down. Now, I don't put that on him, really. I'm not putting much of the blame on Mark Gronowski here. I think there's multiple things going on. I'm putting it on the wide receivers and I'm putting it on the offensive game plan because I really do think that was one of Tim Lester's worst games there against Iowa State. So I don't know what happened, but that was one of Tim Lester's worst games. This play caller.
Do you think he was just so obsessed with getting him back from his year one last year that maybe he overplayed his hand in a way?
Possibly, Drew. I also think that I don't know how to put this, but we started using that slow mesh. I don't know if you saw that during the game.
Yeah, that's what we run in 8th grade. So,
and it worked. And Iowa State was deer in the headlights and had no clue what to do. We did it for like 3 plays and then stopped doing it. But it was working really, really well. And so I don't really understand why you go away from that. That's the old, we've talked about this multiple times here. It's like the old Hayden Fry, you got to scratch where it itches, right? If something's working, you got to just kind of stick with it. Other things too, and I'm kind of taking this from the A&F podcast, but they talked about running more 2 tight end personnel.
Yeah. With which ones?
Right, exactly. Well, so we did come into the game thinking that, and for some reason we backed off that a little too soon in their estimation. And it may have had a lot to do with Addison Ostrenga getting hurt, but people like DJ Voname. I think DJ Voname is fine. But it's more so not that you need high-end talent at those tight end positions. What they were saying is you need to run that 2 tight end personnel out there on offense if you're Iowa against Iowa State's defense because it does give you the best advantage numbers-wise to run against that defense. And we ran it early. We didn't have success with it. And it's like we got scared of that and went away from that and went to a lot of 1 tight end sets from there on out. We should have come back to that to help out the running game, which didn't dominate like we thought it would. They had their moments, but it didn't dominate like we thought it would. So if you're not going to have success in the passing game, you can't get scared in the running game then too, and not run your 2 tight end sets out there, which would give you an advantage. So that's what I mean when I say this is maybe a bit of a Lester issue as well, because he just had a bad game. And it's like, we saw this in the game last year. He played kind of in Iowa State's hands defensively. And then the next week we saw them make changes, come out with the Brendan Sullivan week 3 red zone package, and that gave a boost to the offense. So what's the pivot this year? Because I'm sure there will be another pivot from Tim Lester, but it's like it's a week too late again. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm going with things.
So, if you want to keep the glass half full, there have been many of successful seasons for Iowa football with losses to Iowa State. Granted, a ranked Iowa State team on the road, right? Like if you want to dress this loss up as a good loss, like you would in like basketball, like, oh, this was a quad 1 loss. This isn't like devastating, right? Mm-hmm. This isn't losing to I don't know, North Carolina A&T or
right.
some bullshit like that. I mean, played in the Played in the Orange Bowl with Brad Banks here, right? Losing to Iowa State.
Yes.
But with the glass half empty or completely empty, like I said, there's nowhere near the talent on this football team to do so. The schedule does not line up to do so. I mean, the only team that had a worse weekend was probably Florida, because they lost to South Florida in the swamp. And oh, by the way, they have LSU, they have Miami, and they have Texas their next 3 games.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be worse. But I'll tell you this, is like nothing that happens on Saturday is going to change my – I guess maybe an upset loss would like change my demeanor in this football team. You know, 55-0, I'm not even going to bat an eye. 27-10 is probably more what I'm expecting, actually. Just modest, real modest, whatever. Like, just run the fucking clock. Like, I'm not expecting anything spectacular. I'm not expecting any changes, improvements. It's fucking UMass. You know, I don't think there's going to be a lot of improvement shown. And if there is, it's because of inferior talent. That's what I see. That's what I expect on the weekend.
I think there's plenty of room for improvement, obviously.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of time. I kind of said this before the season, and I'll stick to this. If we see a putrid offense again against Indiana, that's when, you know, we have to have some real tough conversations. But I think UMass and Rutgers, I won't call Rutgers a warm-up game, but I think UMass is obviously a warm-up game before a Big Ten conference play. And
I don't think at Rutgers on a Friday night is a layup anymore.
I think it's pretty well a layup. But so
positive.
But I think it's another opportunity to just get right before you get into the real heart of your schedule there if you're Iowa. So I don't expect this week's game to show us a ton or reveal to us a ton. Although it would be good to see a shift in mindset if we did throw the ball a lot this weekend. I'd be okay with that. I think that would be nice. And if we did so and had success with it, that's good. But it doesn't mean that we're going to be a great passing offense. It just means that we're willing to commit to it. And specifically, downfield passes. 15 yards plus through the air. Downfield.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It's going to be one of those 400-yard days on the ground between a committee of 3 running backs and Gronowski, who will probably have 50 or 60 of his own. It's 27-10.
Sure. Maybe. Probably not, though. Because this UMass team just lost to Bryant, who's an FCS school, who threw for 300 yards. An FCS school threw for 300 yards on these guys. They're also missing their starting quarterback, some of their starting defensive players, some of their starting offensive linemen to injury.
All right. I'll go down this rabbit hole with you, Andrew. Okay.
So
Kansas State lost to Army in Manhattan, who
Sure.
lost to Tarleton State at home.
Yeah.
So what's that say about Iowa State's win in Ireland?
Not much.
So what's that say about Iowa's loss to Iowa State names?
Not much.
Okay.
Not much, because you can't apply the transitive property. Unfortunately, it doesn't work in sports.
It works in math. It's simple math.
It sure does work in math, but not in sports.
God damn it.
No, but I did like your point about, man, I feel like we're all over the place.
It's fine. It's fine. It needs to be all over the place. You need to just spew it out.
Sure. I did like your point about if you want to look at it glass half full, it's not a loss where you got blown out by a ranked team, because that's what we've seen recently against ranked teams. Is just complete and utter blowout. Never hope, never a chance. I think that's what makes this a little bit worse. Is there was truly a chance of winning the game, even with as terrible as the offense looked. There was certainly a chance to get it done. You wouldn't have felt great about it, even if we had one, but you would feel a lot better with an ugly win than such an ugly loss. Right. And like you said, there's good things to take away. Rocco Becht really only had like a little under 100 yards passing before that final drive where he got two of probably the luckiest plays you'll ever see through the air. The tip completion, the jump pass where the tight end has to reach way behind his back with his offhand and grab it with one hand and pull it in. You know, those are low percentage plays, right?
We've been on the positive end of those lucky bounces in this rivalry as well.
Sure, exactly my point, Drew. Is we've been on the positive end, so it feels bad to be on the negative end of these lucky kind of bounces. But it's not like, you know, kind of the pregame, the narrative was Rocco Becht's going to light Iowa on fire, throw for 300 yards, torch us, right? Not what happened. Not at all. Not even close. So the defense was keyed in, locked in, with the exception of a few plays, specifically the touchdown.
I mean, to be fair, their touchdown was off a fucking pick, though. Instant positive side of the field for Iowa State. So, I mean, It's not like they drove it down our fucking throat.
Right. They had very few successful sustained drives where they weren't set up in good field position. They weren't driving the length of the field and scoring at will, like some people thought might happen. So that, to me, that's probably the most positive thing you can take away is the defense stepped up to their side, and Iowa State is good in the Big 12 and probably going to be in the running for the Big 12 Conference Championship because we've seen the rest of the conference and it's not good.
No, it's not good. They had a bad week. Outside of Iowa State's win, they had a bad week.
Right. So, and Iowa is going to finish who knows where in the Big 10. And the Big 12 possible champion, Iowa State, barely beat Iowa, who finishes nowhere, who knows where. You know, we're thinking maybe lower than where we had them preseason now.
It's more like it's definitely more likely 6-7 wins than 9-10.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that, Drew. Unless we see some sort of a dramatic shift, unless Reese Vanderzee coming back is somehow the cure-all. I don't believe those things, but I do think those things would be helpful. I think Moulton being back and Vanderzee being back would be helpful, but it wouldn't be the dramatic shift to tip the scales to 9 or 10 wins. They're going to have to get some good bounces. And I was going to have to get some good bounces the rest of the year to achieve 8 wins. So I think achieving 8 wins now with what we've seen would be a success. I don't know how else to put it other than a success. It wouldn't get us into the college football playoffs, but it would mean you probably lost to.
Yeah, you should just take those words out of your fucking mouth because that's not on the table.
Yeah, you know, again,
that's not
lucky bounces. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh my
like
God.
You said, if we go full O2 mode, but again, I don't think this team has the talent for that. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it other.
You muted yourself again, my guy.
My mic keeps unplugging. It's like
no.
Place where my mic plugs into my computer doesn't want to stay in there.
Ugh.
So, Chris, I need a new mic. No, I don't. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Oh, also, how about special teams on Saturday?
Terrible.
Yeah. Very uncharacteristically awful. So I don't look for that to be the case for the rest of the season. I look for that to change in a positive way.
That's an anomaly. That's an anomaly. I'll give you that. That's an
Yeah.
anomaly. I mean, that's what the reigning Big Ten Special Teams Player of the Year. Yes.
Yeah. Caden Weechin, National Returner of the Year, having his worst game of his life at the wrong time, too. I mean, not just the penalty to open the game, but then like fielding the punt at the 10,
Falling down on the pick.
falling down on the pick, which gave Iowa State a touchdown, pretty much.
I mean, that's a bad day.
That's an awful day, man. Some missed blocks out there, but really,
He's not a blocker though.
no, he's not. He's not a blocker, but he's out there on plays where we're running and is being asked to block, and that's just not his game.
No.
Again, that goes back to what I'm saying about scheme and putting in players in a position to succeed. That didn't happen.
No.
The offensive coordinator currently right now, Tim Lester, is not helping this offense out. I don't think we have the horses to light up the scoreboard necessarily, but they're not getting helped out by their offensive coordinator at this point in time.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but Tim Lester seems like he knows enough about football to where he can make changes, where he can help his guys out. Will he be allowed to do so? That remains to be seen. Kirk did say that they're going to run more slow mesh, and that's going to be a bigger part of the offense.
Oh man,
I liked it. I like that wrinkle. It's good. It was successful for Wake Forest in their heyday.
It's funny. It's funny. Wake Forest just took the field. Wake Forest, NC State, big rivalry game tonight.
Yeah, completely different coaching staff though. Because so I'm talking about like the Sam Hartman heyday, Wake Forest. That's what Warren Ruggiero was, the offensive coordinator for Sam Hartman at Wake Forest before Sam Hartman transferred to Notre Dame, and he was lighting it up at Wake Forest. You never heard about Sam Hartman probably, because Wake Forest.
No, it was when Sam Hartman was 23 and not 24.
Yeah, but because Wake Forest as a team overall wasn't good, but the offense was lighting up the scoreboard with that slow mesh.
Yeah, they were
confusing the heck out of teams. So I like that. I think that's something that they can hang their hat on and hopefully run the rest of the year that can throw teams a curveball. Yeah. Any other big keys, big takeaways from this game? I feel like I'm missing a lot.
No, like I'm in the mood to like flush it and forget it, like you do in a poor outcome of a game like that, a disappointment. Of like you said, to be in the game and play that poorly on offense is more frustrating. I think I would have rather got routed than to like feel like we actually had a chance at a top 15 road win in a rivalry game when everybody's picking against you. They're better on paper, which they are. They're better on the field, which they are, it turns out. And then to still be there in the end. And it just when Conradi kicked the fucking 54-yard field goal again for the second straight year. Like you knew the game was over and there was still 1:50 left because there's no presence of a 2-minute drill with this offense.
Yeah, except for they did execute a pretty good 2-minute at the end of the first half.
Yeah, that's what's bizarre about all this.
Yeah, that's what I mean is like it seemed like we were just like very much like switching it up on offense when we didn't need to. Like people will say, well, this looked like the Brian Ferentz offense. No, it didn't, because Brian Ferentz ran the same 7 or 8 plays. I think we would have had more success if we had just run the same set of like 10 plays.
Probably.
Because there were probably 9 or 10 plays that were working. And again, in my mind, that's an offensive coordinator thing. If you find something that works, that's the whole, like Tim Lester has said, I want to bring the West Coast, Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, NFL scheme to Iowa. Well, the NFL scheme and mindset is you find a play, it works, you keep doing it until the defense stops it. That's the NFL mindset.
And all you needed was a field goal. It's not like we were asking for 30 and 40-yard bombs, right? Like
no, but you have to. But that's the problem with the Iowa offense currently is everything in the air is, for the most part, is sub 15 yards. And that allows corners and safeties to really sit and play downhill and not be backpedaling at all, right? Because you know, Drew, from coaching your middle schoolers and playing football is like back there in the secondary, if you are on a back pedal, it's hard to go from your back pedal to going forward to make a play on a ball. Like that's a tough thing to do. Like the high level athletes in college and pros make it look easy, but it's a tough thing to do.
Yep.
But if you can if you don't ever have to backpedal, it's real easy to go from just sitting there to go forward. That's a lot easier.
Yep.
You don't have to reverse your momentum. You can just get your momentum going and make a play on the ball. And that's where we're at. All right. And that's why I say this weekend, the only thing that I think would be helpful is throwing passes 15 plus yards downfield. Simply for the fact, not that it is going to make a difference in this game. You have to give future defenses that to think about and show that, hey, actually Iowa can do that and it can actually be successful with it. It's something that we have to consider in our defensive game plan. Now, how much do you have to consider it? That's the real question, but I would at least like to put something out there on tape for other teams for the rest of the year to consider this weekend. That's really all I want to see from this weekend's game offensively.
Sure.
So
do you want to go ahead and take our ad break? We'll come out with predictions for UMass, maybe some other sports on the way out of.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think this sounds like a good time to take our break. And so we'll do that and hear from our sponsors and we'll be right back.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com.
Gentlemen, let's be honest. Finding the perfect gift for your wife or girlfriend isn't always easy. You want something thoughtful, stylish, and unique. And that's exactly what you'll find at Styled by JJ Boutique. Julia Bradshaw and her team strive to be your go-to boutique for casual, boho, and chic clothing and accessories, helping women elevate their style one piece at a time. Located right here in Johnston, Iowa, Styled by JJ brings trendy, high-quality fashion that boosts confidence without breaking the bank. So, if you're looking for a gift that says, I get you, instead of I tried, head to Styled by JJ Boutique, because nothing makes her smile like feeling beautiful. Styled by JJ Boutique, where style meets confidence. Call us today at 515-823-8446.
Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing your home, or if it's simply time to renovate the one you're already living in, you need an experienced mortgage professional to help you analyze your financing options and to make sure the closing goes smoothly. And that's exactly what you get when you call Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Kyle's experience and expertise, coupled with Wintrust's rates and programs, ensures you'll get the mortgage that's right for you. You may even qualify for down payment assistance. Before you reach out to a realtor, call Kyle and get pre-qualified, empowering you to start shopping for the home of your dreams. Call Kyle at 515-473-0546. Kyle Lehman, Wintrust Mortgage, 515-473-0546.
All right, we're back. And Drew, we can make our UMass predictions. I'll start. Over-unders 42.5. I'm going to go Iowa 42, UMass 0. I think we're going to see a shutout. I think we're going to see Iowa score 42 points. I think the under's going to cash barely.
I'm sticking with my 27-10. It's still going to be the under.
Yeah,
I'm going 20. I'm going ho hum 27-10, just like I would expect in a final non-con tune-up, quote unquote. I'm not going to be inspired. I'm Debbie Downer. I mean, I think the offense puts the defense in a bad position again for that one touchdown that is accounted for UMass, probably like an instant red zone type situation. Puts the ball on the ground, something like that. But I mean, the outcome never really in doubt type of situation.
Yeah. Okay.
But definitely disappointing. I don't know. Effort. Is effort the word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also weird that this is a 6:30 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah, of course it is.
Hate it.
It's okay for me because I have drill this weekend, so I'll be home in time for it. So I'll actually get to watch the whole game as opposed to just the second half like last weekend.
Good.
Because the second half of the CyHawk game, actually, Iowa played fairly well. They outplayed Iowa State in probably 20 of the 30 minutes of the second half.
Oh, I would agree. Except for the touchdown drive of the first half. The first half was a disaster.
Oh, yeah. Take the first half out of it.
The last 2 minutes of the first half count as the second half in my mind because that's when we were playing well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking real confident there when we had that long drive in the third quarter for a field goal. I was thinking, okay, we're starting to wear on them. It's feeling good, but that's not where it ended up.
It turns out Dominic Orange is really good at football.
Yeah, he's good. He's their best defender by far. It's not even close. Caleb Bacon's good. Jeremiah Cooper's good. The McDonough guy won Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. If I was Dom Orange, I'd be pissed because that's a Dom Orange award. McDonough was just a beneficiary of Dom Orange. He's not that good.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't mean to turn this into the McDonough slander podcast, but it's true.
Whatever makes you feel better.
No, it's true. No, Dom Orange is really good, but yeah. All right, good, little brother. You got it done. Your Super Bowl victory achieved. No, you talked about some other places in the country. I don't know. We kind of did a podcast this summer where we gave our predictions. Man, I should have wrote down all of our predictions because I didn't. I do remember that I picked Clemson in the ACC, and I am not feeling any sort of good about that.
I'd like to say that I picked Miami.
Yeah, you should feel good about Miami right now.
Yeah.
I am feeling good about my Big 12 pick, though. I think I was high on Utah, and Utah looks incredible.
Yeah, a nice rebound after not having to wait to find out if Cam Rising is going to play for like the 17th fucking year.
I told you Devin Dampier is going to be electric, and he has been. And he is definitely he's going to be in the conversation for the best quarterback award, that Maxwell or whatever they give to the best quarterback.
Yep,
Davey O'Brien.
Davey O'Brien. Maxwell, I think, is the most outstanding football player, right? That's
Sure.
not the Heisman Trophy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the runner-up for the Heisman for the Maxwell.
Yep.
A lot of times. But yeah, give me Devin Dampier in that. And what else is going on?
I've always liked the Utah program, and I like Kyle Whittingham a lot. So, like, I'm happy to see a rebound from that program, honestly.
Yeah, I've thought this before and said this before. I imagined kind of always Utah in the Big 12 is what Iowa would look like in the Big 12 a lot. I don't know if that's true this year, but I would say that in past years, that's definitely Utah's style.
Here's my problem, though, Andrew, is with the Big 12 style of everybody else, of just lighting up fucking scoreboards left and right because they don't play defense, right? That's the narrative conference wide. We would be like fucking 2-6 every year in the Big 12 because we wouldn't fucking score.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't. I don't think I would want to be in the Big 12. You want to play in a shootout with Iowa? Okay, fuck yeah. Sign me up, Baylor. Sign me up, TCU. Sign me up, fucking. Well, I mean, Oklahoma State's fucking trash, but on a normal year, you know, Arizona State had a poor outing in Starkville, but I mean, still we got Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson. Good luck with that. Just would not. That I don't think it would bode well for them to play in the Big 12. So
yeah. Well, thankfully, we'll never have to
That's true.
see that hypothetical scenario.
Yeah.
Man, I can't remember Big Ten who I went with. I think probably Penn State. I think I believed in Penn State.
I think you also selected Oregon.
No, that doesn't sound like me. I think I was down on Oregon.
Maybe.
But
they're looking pretty good.
I liked.
We'd have to go back. At some point, we should go back and do a mid-season review of our picks and what's going on.
We should.
That would be a good filler episode. It might actually be good for next week, considering if what is supposed to happen against UMass, we might not have much to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, any other sports things, Iowa sports things on your mind? I guess I'm still waiting on McKenna Wolitsko news. Forever waiting on McKenna Wolitsko news.
We're waiting as long as their last name and the amount of syllables in it.
Wolitsko, actually, it's pronounced Wolitsko.
Oh.
To be, sorry. Whoops. Got that wrong. Hopefully she's not listening. Hopefully this isn't the straw that breaks it. No, that could set off a chain of events because Addison Bjorn locked in her official visit to Iowa. She's another top 15 player in that 2026 class, so next year's freshman, along with Jenica Lewis, who's also top 15, has locked in an official visit. So if we get Wolitsko, Bjorn, Lewis, that's an insane haul, especially when you consider that Addie Deal is top 10 in her class and she's starting.
Yeah.
So, again, women's basketball recruiting, something to monitor. Men's basketball recruiting, also something to monitor. Quite a few official visits going down there, and Ben McCollum's doing a good job getting us in on some 4-star guards, some 4-star forwards. He's got us in the mix for a couple of 4-star point guards and a couple of 4-star forwards. combo forwards that he likes and things. So I think that's awesome that we're in and truly have official visits and have an actual chance with those guys. And Ben McCollum's team hasn't even played a game yet in Iowa, and we're in with some of those guys. But his track record at Northwest Missouri State and Drake, especially with point guards, is pretty extensive and pretty long. So I think that helps. He has a lot to point to in that regard. So yeah, like you said, is it basketball season yet? I'm hyped for both of the basketball teams. I think it's going to be a fun year. I'm sure we'll do basketball preview in maybe another month or so, probably, as a good filler. But never too early to be excited about basketball because that's my favorite sport. So
yeah, I would say the women are maintaining, and then you land that recruiting class that we're like hot to trot on, right, for the women. And for first season of Ben McCollum, and giving somebody like Ben McCollum Big Ten resources at a program like Iowa to get those 4-star kids on visits and interested in the Iowa program and the Big Ten. I mean, I think it's going to be a great match. I really do. I loved watching his team play with Drake down in Wichita, knocking off Missouri, number 3 seed Missouri. Was it number 3 seed, number 6 seed? I can't remember. It was a higher seed, obviously. It was a big upset considering it was Mizzou playing in Wichita. It's pretty much a home game for Mizzou.
It was. They were a 6 seed, and then who did Drake play?
And then Texas Tech knocked them out.
Oh yeah, Texas Tech was really good.
They were really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah, they just didn't. Drake just didn't have the guys for that.
No, they did not have the guys for that.
But
I mean, that being said, there's hope to give somebody like Ben McCollum Big Ten resources to compete in the conference. So I'm excited to see something that's not same old fucking Fran. Hopefully he has a good season at Penn.
Yeah, I think people are going to point to the defense, the physicality of Ben McCollum, and I do think that is going to be the biggest difference that you'll notice right away. But I also would tell people that I think the offense is going to be different than what you saw Drake. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't think it's going to be a high-flying offense. It's not going to be the Fran style where we have to score 80, 90 points because we can't play defense kind of a game.
Right.
But this team has some shooters on it, some guys that can create some I think there's some offensive capability there for the current Iowa men that didn't exist last year at Drake.
Sure.
So I think I'm excited about that too. And yeah, I think it'll be a fun start. So, all right. Anything else Iowa related before we make one announcement and then sign off?
If Wake Forest offense is Iowa related, they just had like another 70-yard reception. They're already up 7-0. They returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. And now a 70-yard completion with a horse collar tackle to boot, instant red zone. I don't know if that has anything to do with Iowa, but you brought up slow mesh Wake Forest football.
I did.
That was fast mesh. Should have housed it, but horse collar tackle saved it.
Oh my.
No.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that one. And
you're going down tonight, by the way, in pro football.
Oh no, I'll be all right.
No, I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so.
I'll be okay in pro football. I don't know if you saw the Packers defense last week against Detroit. They were flying, man. It was wild.
It was pretty impressive. I did not expect that outcome. I mean, if Green Bay would have won like a slugfest, like 28-24, I could have accepted that. But just pure domination.
Nah.
The Detroit offense without Ben Johnson, maybe a problem. Maybe a problem without Frank Ragnow on the offensive line for Detroit of the sudden retirement. I guess it wasn't sudden. He was there for a while, but I mean, I wouldn't have chalked him up to like retire at that point in his career. But more power to him. leaving while he can still walk. Those big offensive linemen guys getting beat up like that. But yeah, I mean, good week one. But here's the thing about week one is you never overreact in week two. And I think usually week two comes down to like a course correction of maybe getting to more what to expect for the entire season. I don't think you can read a whole season from week one as we couldn't with Iowa football. And then we saw that it turned out about the fucking same offensively.
Sure. Yeah, no, you can't read too much into week one, but to be that locked in from week one, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, with that said, I'm glad you brought up NFL, but I am actually, Drew, you're very much invited to be on the new podcast that's launching whenever you want, but launching a new podcast called Barber's Best Bets. And yeah, I'm excited about it. I will be tracking my record through these bets. I'm not going to start out by telling you how many units to wager or anything crazy like that. Some people do that and they're really good in that space. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. You can follow my picks if you want to. You can not follow my picks if you don't want to. It's definitely not financial advice, but Tuesdays, 6, probably about a 30-minute show. Just going to run down probably some college football and NFL picks and maybe throw in some special picks for special events every once in a while too. Or when we get to basketball season, you might get a little bit more college basketball out of me. I don't know if we'll extend it to college basketball. We'll see. That's tough. There's daily games in college basketball, so it gets a little hard to follow. But we will see. I wanted to end this podcast by throwing some picks out there, and Drew, feel free to add or subtract from these picks, but I'm going with some dogs on college football Saturday and playing the spreads. And I've isolated Wisconsin plus 21.5. I don't like this Wisconsin team. They're on the road at Alabama. I do think there's a chance that they get smoked. To me, this has all the makings of a late game backdoor. Wisconsin scores a late touchdown to only lose by 21.
Okay.
Kind of a feel. Alabama certainly hasn't lit the world on fire. That week one performance against Florida State was uninspiring. So this isn't a Nick Saban NFL guys up and down the roster kind of Alabama team. I think Wisconsin can hang well enough to not lose by 21. I'm taking another Big Ten team as well, who's a big underdog, but they're a big home underdog. And that's Purdue, plus 20.5 against USC. Purdue has looked actually competent through 2 weeks as a football team. And it's, I believe, an 11 a.m. kick. And USC, I'm just counting on USC time change, slow start. So give me Purdue.
You're starting your brand new podcast launching next Tuesday, Barber's Best Bets, with two Big Ten West bullshit teams covering big ass spreads. I love it.
Hey, I almost put 3. I almost put 3 because I was tempted to take Northwestern, and I didn't.
Holy shit. Okay.
But my third and final college football pick that I like this weekend, and I'm going to take West Virginia plus 7.5 at home.
Oh.
West Virginia just lost to Ohio. All the chips are down. This is what I think is a good – we'll talk about this with my NFL pick maybe. I think these are good buy low spots for these teams. It's kind of like stocks where you want to sell high, buy low. I'm selling high on USC. I'm buying low on West Virginia here against Pitt in the backyard brawl. I know that West Virginia has some significant injuries that has impacted this line, and the loss to Ohio obviously impacted this line. But give me West Virginia at home to keep it within a touchdown. So those are my 3 college football picks.
So some of my friends out on the East Coast we used to hang out with has a daughter that was a West Virginia alum, and their backyard brawl saying was always "eat shit Pitt." So I'll go with you on that. I think West Virginia actually wins outright.
Yeah, I can see that, but I don't want to play the West Virginia money line, so I'll just take the points. In the NFL, I think there's one game that stood out to me that had a really big spread. I'm taking the Browns plus 11.5 against Baltimore. I know that Baltimore will come out with a chip on their shoulder, but again, I'm looking at a backdoor situation. I think 11.5 is a lot of points in the NFL. Yeah, the Browns suck. They do. They're terrible. They're an awful team. They played a close game with the Bengals, which early season Bengals is always yuck. But I don't think the Baltimore defense is all that great. I think there's holes there, and I don't know. I think the Browns can play well enough with Flacco to expose the holes that are in the Baltimore defense and keep this thing within 10. I think they can keep it within 10.
All right.
So give me plus 11.5 just simply because I think it's a lot of points. Then I'm going to venture into the world of player prop bets for my NFL picks.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I'm going to pick a Cincinnati Bengal to have a bounce back week. 2 different touchdown bets for the same guy. And that's Jamar Chase, anytime touchdown, and Jamar Chase, first touchdown of the ball game. He didn't score last week. I think they're going to make it a big point of emphasis against Jacksonville at home to get Chase more involved than he was in week 1. That's why I think he's going to have a good opportunity to score a touchdown right away, especially if the Bengals get the ball first. He's for sure going to score at least 1 touchdown at any point in the game next week. I would say after getting blanked in week 1 against the Browns. That's a tough rivalry game in week 1. And I think he has a better matchup against Jacksonville too. So give me Jamar Chase to bounce back in a big way in week 2 of the NFL slate. And my final pick of the weekend, I have to pull out a special pick here for one of the biggest boxing matches that's going on Netflix.
I was gonna do that. If you weren't gonna pick this, I was gonna add it. Go for it.
I have to. And it's boring, but I'm gonna take Canelo Alvarez money line to win the fight outright. I think he's minus 180. I saw. So not a great value there, but I think it's the most realistic outcome. So I'll take Canelo on the money line.
All right.
I know you don't. I know, Drew. You can throw your picks in if you want. Let's hear your Canelo Crawford pick.
I just have to. I'm going the other way because I'm going to take the value with Bud Crawford. So
okay.
I think it goes to the distance decision Crawford. And I'm going to tonight's game, Commanders plus 3.5.
Oh, okay.
If you can still get the hook, I would recommend that. I think it's going to be a close game.
Oh yeah, I have no doubts it's going to be close. I just think Green Bay will pull it out in the end. Yeah, I love it. I am by no means an expert. We will track my picks. We'll be back next week. Very curious about my Big West college football picks. Go Big West in week 3. But we will see. We will see. Those are my picks that I like for this week. So those are Barber's Best, and that's where we'll end the show.
All right, man. Sounds great.
So Thank you, everybody, for listening. As always, Drew, have a great night, and go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Talking football, talking hoops, every sport in between. IOWA, yeah, you know what I mean. From a Hawks eye view, see the whole state rise. With a heart so strong and fire in our eyes. On the field, on the court, in the stands we shine. The best in the game, yeah, the state is mine.